Okay, so here is a comparison between the new JBL Partybox Stage 320 and the Partybox Club 120. These are obviously the new Partybox offerings from JBL, just came out very recently. Very excited about these. We've been talking about them for a while. I've done the individual reviews on both of these. This is a comparison. I don't have the 310 to compare to the 320. I do have the 110 to compare to the 120, so that video will be coming soon. But yeah, this is, just in case you're interested, this is what you're looking at, comparing the 110, the 120 and the 320. We'll go across why I think one's better than the other, and, in which case you should go for which one. So yeah, obviously, in case it wasn't obvious, on the right, we've got the 120, on the left, we've got the 320. That probably should have had them the other way around. So the 120 is £350, brand new here in the UK from the JBL website. The 320 is 530, so about £200 more, £180 more at the moment. Obviously, depending on your budget, you might think that's nothing, you might think that's way too much. I'll speak about that a bit later. Driver-wise, on the 120, we've got two 5.25-inch woofers. On the 320, we've got two 6.5-inch woofers. So yeah, on the 320, they're 1.25 inches bigger, these woofers, which will make a difference in the bass and the overall kind of volume of the speaker. On the 120, we have two 2.25-inch tweeters at the top. And on the 320, we have two 1-inch dome tweeters on the top. So slightly different design there. Technically, the tweeters on the 120 are a bit bigger, but they are also a slightly different shape. It's kind of hard to compare them. They're good for different things. So we'll just kind of listen to them and speak about it after we've had that sound test. The 120 has a 160 watt RMS output. The 320 has a 240 watt RMS output. So that is quite impressive. That's an 80 watt difference between the two, which is more than you might expect considering the tweeters are smaller and the woofers are only a little bit bigger. So yeah, you do have that quite a bit of extra power there. Frequency response range is the exact same, 40 Hz to 20 kHz. So you're not getting any kind of difference in actual frequency. Weight-wise, the 120 is 11 kilos, the 320 is 16.5 kilos. So yeah, about 5.5 kilos heavier for the 320. Hence why it has this long telescopic handle, which I'm struggling to get in shot, and the wheels at the bottom. The 120 obviously just has that little handle which pokes up. But still, very nice design on both of them here. Obviously, the 320 is going to be heavier because it's bigger. That's pretty obvious. They've done their best to kind of mediate that by having the wheels and the telescopic handle. And it works quite well, to be fair. Input-wise, they're almost exactly the same as well. They've got an aux, two mic inputs, and a guitar input on both, so don't have to worry about that. Same Bluetooth version as well, Bluetooth 5.4. The battery is slightly different. On the 120, we have 12 hours of playtime. On the 320, we have 18 hours of playtime, which is slightly counterintuitive. You might have thought that the smaller speaker would have a longer battery life, but here we are. Clearly, the battery in the 320 is just that much bigger. They both take around 3 hours to charge, technically 3.5 hours for the 120 and 3 hours for the 320. Not quite sure how they've managed that either. And then again, the 320 wins again in the new fast charge. So 10 minutes of charge will get 80 minutes of playtime in the 120, but it will get 2 hours of playtime in the 320. So yeah, you're gonna have more battery life. You're gonna have more, that fast charge is even more of a boost on the 320. So if you are commonly doing longer DJ sessions, longer parties, then that is a big difference there. You've got 6 hours of longer playtime just standard, and then the fast charge gets you more as well. So that may be quite a big difference for you. They're both IPX4 rated for water and dust resistance, so exactly the same there. They both have JBL's new AI sound boost, so they'll both kind of scan their surroundings and adjust their sound accordingly. They both benefit from the new Auracast system, so they'll both pair together. Realistically, obviously all of the tech inside them is the same. It's just, the main things are bigger battery on the 320 and just more output power, really. You've obviously got some mic controls on the top of it, and which you don't have on the 320, but on the 120. Sorry, I'm getting confused with my numbers. But overall, they're very, very similar speakers. I think it boils down to how long you're going to be using it for and how many people you're going to be using it for, because the 320 is just a bit louder and battery lasts a bit longer, but maybe not enough to warrant the extra £200. Who knows? So we're going to do a sound test to kind of help you decide. Going to swap between them throughout the video. Going to be, obviously, the one that has the lights on is going to be the one that's actually playing, so bear that in mind.
On my own, broken alone, I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares.
Okay, so comparison over. Obviously, each of you will take your own opinions away from that. Personally, I've always been a fan of the 1 series of these speakers. The 120 is the one I'm going to be keeping and using daily. My reasons for this really are the slightly smaller and more portable size. I prefer that, especially this new handle design on the 120 means you can just pick it up and kind of carry it up and down stairs, throw it in the back of a car. It's just easier to move around. I mean, personally, I find myself using it more around the house, so it's easier to just move between rooms. It's not as massive, and the sound is still incredible. The 320 is louder and bassier, but the quality is still fine on the 120. It's still the same. And for most of my listening, I won't be listening at a volume where the 320 could go louder, if that makes sense. I normally listen 30 to 40% volume, and that's just going to be 20 to 30% volume on the 320. So I'm going to be getting the same experience realistically. But for the 120 is less money, less size, easier to carry around. If I wanted more battery life, I would probably go down the route of buying the extra batteries for the 120, or maybe even considering buying a second one and pairing them together, because then you would definitely have more output than even the 320 alone. Obviously, that would be slightly more expensive than getting the 320, but it would be cooler because you could have kind of stereo pairing as well. The 320 for me and the 310 have always just been kind of in that space where they're not big enough. They're not loud enough to warrant being that much bigger, if that makes sense. Like the 710 is much louder than the 110, and it was always worth the bigger size because the 710 is a monster. Everyone who has had one would understand that. But the 310 and like the 110, and these kind of 3 series versus 1 series are, you have to be at the 80, 90, 100% volume mark to notice the difference a lot of the time. And how much, if you think about it, how much of the time are you really doing that? Obviously, if you're taking these to parties every weekend and you want the longer battery life, then the 320 is the obvious decision. That is completely fair enough. But if you're in a case like me, or using it mainly for home use, a bit of kind of tech carrying around, personally, I think the 120 is a better shout. But I'm sure there'll be people with other ideas. Pop them down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching.